Hi guys, my name is Fatima Ahmed, and this is my speech on why Prop 207 should not be passed. Before I begin, I want to let you know that Arizona just passed its 207 law that anyone can smoke marijuana at the age of 21 and older, which means that by next year of 2021, around April, March, anyone can go and walk into a dispensary at the age of 21 and older, show their ID, and buy up to 1 ounce of marijuana. This means that anyone can buy it at the age of 21 and older. But I want to let you know this wasn't the first time Prop 207 was tried. 2016 was the first time they tried Prop 207, but it wasn't passed. This time it was passed. True that yes was 60% and no for Prop 207 was about 30.06%, which is a very close race. So before we start, I want to let you know to imagine someone who has someone young at the age of 21 and older taking a blunt and lighting it up and smoking it. Around 5 minutes or so, the high has already kicked in, which means their eyes are already drowsy, they're hallucinating, and they're saying things that don't make sense. By the time they're done with the blunt, smoking all of it, they already are feeling dizzy and either fell asleep on that couch or the chair they were sitting on, or feel a paralyzed feeling into their body that they feel like they can't move. And imagine that the public now has their hands on a drug that was medical, now is recreational. Now, before with medical, you can go to your doctor and go through and buy a card and buy medical marijuana at a small percent, just like now. But now, what you have to do is anyone can walk into a dispensary and purchase it at the age of 21 and older. So, what does that mean for our future generation? If anyone can get in, buy it, just like almost like alcohol, buy it, smoke it, and get high, what does that affect us to our body? And that's what gets to our concerns. There are 3 concerns I have with recreational marijuana. First of all, it is what happens to people who have been incarcerated and have been through and has pending cases regarding marijuana. Second of all, what will happen to your brain long-term and short-term effects due to marijuana? And thirdly, what are the negative effects of abuse and addiction with marijuana? Prop 207 has just been passed in Arizona and will be effective by March 2021. So what does that mean to the people who are getting arrested? Well, I spoke to attorney Andrew, and he says that there is something called the expungement, which means that anyone can file for an expungement, which means that you can go in and get an attorney by your pocket. No one's going to pay for it, only you. And see if your past case can be judged and dismissed. Which means, for example, if you got caught with more than, I guess, a whole bag, basically, that has almost like you're selling it, your case is not going to be dismissed. It's still going to be on your file. But if you got caught with an ounce or so, then your case can be capable of being dismissed. And you can get to attorney by going to any attorney you can go to, or you can go to the attorney office by Andrew called the Attorneys of Freedom. Now, the other thing is driving when you're incarcerated. Now, there are so much studies right now going on what it does to the brain. If we see here in the brain, it shows that anyone where it's showing in yellow, as you see here closely, this shows us that what the marijuana can do to the brain. It can show movement. It goes through movement. It goes through rewards, memory, and satisfaction. That's what marijuana can affect. Now, vision, on some cases, they say that it doesn't affect, but it can affect, because that's where we get to the point where is the tax money going towards? Now, when I spoke to the attorney, he was saying that some percent of the tax money is going towards, education and community colleges, but most of the percentage is going towards policing and on DUIs. That means the money that we spend, which is 16% of the tax money when you purchase marijuana, is going to go towards policing. That means if you get caught with marijuana, for example, if you get caught with, smoking in the morning and driving in the evening, if a police officer occasionally just pulls you over and can get a blood test on you and they're still in your system, you can get a DUI. So that is very important, because even though that we don't know what percent it takes for the THC to affect the vision, it's still being passed, which that is one reason why we don't know much about it, so we shouldn't be passed for the public, only kept for medicinal reasons, not recreational. Now, marijuana can affect you negatively in so many ways. So marijuana can affect you short